Okay, hey now everybody, we're back, brand new Take Aim, and I hope everybody had a great Christmas, Happy New Year, and excited to get on with another year of the podcast. It's pretty exciting, but just got to sit down and talk with Jacques Demers again from Shock Effect Products, and as you guys remember, we had a great show with Jacques at the end of October about some of the products, and they've been doing over a decade's worth of work data-wise on the captive deer and elk side, and now they're making a ton of products, great products for the free range whitetail side. So just me and Jack had a really quick show today, but basically just talking about the upcoming ATA show, and excited I'll be at Jack's booth quite a bit, at the Shock Effect booth, I should say, and we'll be doing some podcasts there and an in-depth conversation with Jacques as well. So hope you guys enjoyed today's show, and looking forward to putting out some great stuff come ATA with Blake and Diddy and Jacques and those guys from Unfiltered. So we'll have a great time, and hopefully a couple great episodes coming from you from ATA. All right, guys, we're live, brand new Take Aim podcast, and excited to be back with this guy, Jacques Demers from Shock Effect Products. Jacques, how you doing, man? It's been a minute.
Doing great, man. Good to talk to you. Just been busy here, packing up, getting ready, heading over to the ATA show in Louisville next week.
Man, it's coming pretty quick, and I'm excited to get down there and hang out and see you at the booth and all that good stuff. But I almost can't even believe it's that time of year to be headed to ATA.
I know it snuck up with me. I knew it would be after the holidays, but I didn't anticipate it sneaking up on me this quick. So here it is, and we'll be ready one way or the other. But I like ATA because it kicks off our trade show season for the year with a really nice, strong show. And so we always look forward to it, even though it's a big rush. We always have a really good time.
Yeah, for sure. So before we kind of spill the beans on ATA and kind of talk about how fun that show is, but give everybody just a simple reminder since the last time you've been on about Shock Effect and the kind of products you guys have.
Sure. Again, my name is Jacques Demers, and I own a company called Shock Effect Products. We're based out of the state of Missouri. We are a feed supplement company. We started out on the captive deer and captive elk market, deer farmers and elk farmers, and we spent about a decade perfecting our nutritional science with farm-raised animals. And a few years ago, we actually started getting into developing and selling products for land managers and hunters to use, utilizing the same nutritional science to attract and grow bigger, healthier deer in the wild. And so now the majority of my focus now, and obviously my focus at ATA, will be teaching land managers and hunters and outdoor enthusiasts how to utilize their property and how to utilize or develop a feed supplement program to get the most out of their deer herd.
Absolutely. I know we had a pretty in-depth conversation back in late October about it, so you guys can reference that on the podcast and the Unfiltered app. But is there anything coming up ATA-wise, Jacques? Are you going to have anything new or just small little kind of niche improvements to products?
Yeah, we have some improvements to our products. We did, we have another year of testing under our belt. If you remember the podcast last time, that's a huge thing for us is, testing the efficacy of our products to make sure we're bringing the best products to the market, proven to work. Everybody's money is hard earned, and I want these things to work, and I want them to work well. And so, yeah, we have some new and improved products coming out. We will be, showcasing our big four, our Antler Maximizer, our C-Cal calcium supplement, our mineral, and then we have a new flavor, which is kind of a flavor additive you can add to your feed. You can add it to corn. You can mix it with mineral. It's really, really flexible, and so it's not only a flavoring, but it's also an attractant. It's a very, very strong flavor. It has a strong smell to it. and it's been proven over the last 5 or 6 years to be an extremely effective tool. And so it gives the hunter a little bit of flexibility trying to get deer into their scrapes or into their mineral piles or to their feeders or whatnot. And we'll be having some free samples of that to hand out, and we'll have some goodies and koozies and all kind of stuff like that. And so I invite anybody who's going to be able to make the show to stop by. We'll be in booth 336 over there by the Garmin booth, and I'd love to sit down and talk to you about what our products can do for you.
Yeah, it's almost, I know we're not going to remotely dive into that stuff today, Jacques, especially with ATA coming up. You're going to be talking out your ears and probably almost tired of talking. But it's almost crazy how much knowledge you have in the subject. And like you just kind of mentioned, what a great answer that was to say another year of testing. That's huge. And that kind of advocates to how much you guys kind of learn and keep improving these products, which I think is amazing.
Oh yeah, that's the big driving force for us. Data is king, and because I don't want to put anything on the shelf that I know that I haven't used, and I want to see the results myself. And so that's one thing anybody can rest assured. There's a lot of products on the shelf, but I can guarantee that ours have been proven and tested, and they are effective. Yeah, for sure. I know that your Instagram page, you guys post a lot to that about some of these bucks, and I know that if, again, to go back and reference, just one of the bucks that Blake had hunted and a neighbor had killed had put on like 36 inches. I think he said 36. Maybe it was 33 inches in 1 year from 5 to 6. So that's amazing and speaks real highly of your products, and excited to kind of dig in a little bit deeper. I know, kind of cool news for us. We're going to sit down with you. What day was it, Jacques? Is it Friday? Is that correct? I think it's Friday. It's Friday. Yeah. I believe it's Friday. Friday. So I know we'll be in the booth, me, Blake, and Diddy quite a bit, but in doing some other podcasts and bringing some people over to the booth for you. But we're going to sit down and talk for a good hour and a half and kind of dive into some of the stuff again. So I'm excited to do that, and just kind of let everybody know we'll have a really good show for you coming out shortly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We got a lot of interest after the last podcast. Got a lot of calls, a lot of emails, a lot of folks that just and it goes to show that the food or the supplemental feed program is kind of in its infancy. Like not a lot of people have put a lot of thought into what a supplement program can do for you, and we got a lot of calls. I had a lot of long conversation with folks, picked up some new customers, a lot of interest, and so it's nice to see that the people are getting educated, but there's also that desire to get educated, and so there's a lot of interest in the hunting community on what they can do to improve their circumstances in their lease or on their property and whatnot, and that's why we're here. And so, yeah, if anybody has a chance to make the show, please stop by, grab me. We'll sit down for as long as you want and talk about it. If you can't make the show, my contact information is all over the podcast, or you can go to www.shockeffectwhitetail.com and shoot me an email, and I'll be glad to sit down and explain the program and our products. Yeah, I think it's spot on what you just said, and I think it's really interesting that it is really in its infancy, and I don't know, I'm a true believer in that, Jacques. And why would you say that is? It's because obviously it's been around in some form, on the captive side, and I mean, I remember way back to, the first footage of deer hunting and deer shows I've ever seen in Texas, South Texas. They've always been doing some sort of supplement feed. So why do you think it's taken so long to get over to, guys doing this in conjunction with food plots, or this versus food plots? I don't know. I think it might be just kind of human nature. We're going to do it this way because this is how we've always done it, kind of thing. It might be that the younger hunters or the middle-aged hunters that are coming up and have access to land now, grew up with technology, so maybe, they utilize the internet. There's more information out there now than there used to be. There's a lot more digestible information out there. And so I think people, and I think too, maybe now, the properties are harder to find. There's more competition. There's a lot of pressure. And I think maybe these guys want to be able to figure out ways to milk out the most benefit out of their property and out of their situation. And you can't just sit around on your hands and hope for bigger deer or for better, healthier deer. You have to be you really have to be proactive. And I think all those factors have kind of weighed in, and I think people are more willing to put out the effort now that the information is available and readily available. And because the information has been proven for, like I said, we've been working with this nutritional science for over a decade, and so I can't really explain why it took so long to get accepted into the hunting community, but I know it is, and I know it's really gaining a lot of momentum because I can tell just in our call volume and our email volume, and I can tell by the nature of the conversations that I'm having with the people. Before, they would ask the simple question, what about this? What about corn? What about soybeans? Now I'm getting really complicated, really complex questions. What about this? And how many feed sites do I need? How many mineral sites? How far from water? How can I use this feed program in conjunction with food plots? I mean, these guys are really thinking about it, and they're really educated. And I love seeing that because that lends well to to somebody putting a lot of effort, a lot of thought into a well-constructed food supplement program.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a great idea, and I'll talk about myself for a minute. One of the reasons I've always been so interested is my farm and farmers, or multiple, one or two, I would say three out of three of my main farms here in Michigan, Jack, they crop every square inch of ground. So I've always looked for what can I do to kind of make my farm better, make my habitat better. What can I do now that they've kind of taken over all the way to the fence row? I can't do food plots. So I've always been super, super highly intrigued by the supplemental feed and doing stuff like this because I feel like it's my option. It's something I can do bonus, especially since I can't get out there and plow the ground up, so to speak.
Right, and that's exactly right. And I see, I split my time between wild deer guys and deer and elk farmers. I've seen guys raise 300 and 400 inch deer on ground that, quite frankly, goats might not be able to survive on. They're bringing in 100% of their nutrition and supplementing their diet and getting it done effectively. So if you extrapolate that and take that same logic, if you have even just decent ground and you're bringing in the wild deer, a supplemental program, you'll see, that'll pay off in spades. I mean, you will see, big increases. It's, you said a few minutes ago that the one that Blake saw, probably additional 30-plus inches of growth. We hear that season in and season out. 30 inches of growth, 40 inches of growth, and big jumps from 2-year-old to 3-year-old, so it works. You just got to put the effort in to get it doing.
Yeah, it is. It takes a little work to get it established, and like you said, I think it is really a lot to do with human nature, and it's kind of taking that leap and diving in, and once you get it and kind of experiment yourself, and you realize, man, this doesn't hurt anything. All I'm doing is helping. It's a supplement type of deal, just like you would, supplement your own diet if you're taking vitamin C and stuff like that. And it's basically getting your feet wet and just believing you could do it, and then kind of sitting back and running those cameras and scouting deer and seeing the results pay off.
Right, and I love that, because the guys are getting more and more about, I have some guys that are so fastidious about checking their cameras, they will actually send me early season, mid-season, late season, and then harvest photos, and you can see this deer progress, and I love seeing it because, quite frankly, if you buy the product once, you're going to buy it again because if you use it properly, it's going to work, and you're going to say, wow, I want this to continue. And, I mean, I think, my partner and I think we quit adding it up, but I want to say just from the pictures the guys had sent us, you were adding up the additional growth plus the overall size of the deer when they were harvested. I want to say we had like 7,500 inches of deer harvested in the wild this year, just from the just people sending us photos, of the deer that they had kind of blown up on their property and then ended up harvesting this year. And we love that kind of stuff because, like I said, it's we're data driven, and we like to see that the stuff is working. We like to see the happy photos of people on the trail cams. We like seeing the harvested photos. I mean, it's proof positive, and it reinforces why we're doing this.
Exactly. I was just going to say to you what you just said. How cool for you guys being, which I knew before, but so data driven that you get that kind of input, and it's basically like a walking billboard for you guys to kind of materialize and come up with, and it confirms what you're doing, so to speak, to see that between inches of growth and body weight and being data driven. Those are big things for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, that keeps me getting up in the morning. That's why I love doing what I'm doing, because I get to really engage with the customers, and that feedback from them is invaluable to us, and it allows us, the input to continue developing new products. I've got 6 or 7 products in the pipeline right now, and I'm just waiting for them to prove themselves before we start bringing them out.
Well, good. That's good news, and like I said, I'm excited because it's my one avenue for doing that one extra thing, you know what I mean? So I'm excited this year to, get running these products and give you some data to track as well, and, I'm excited to see you at ATA.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Like I said, we'll be there. I know you guys are coming out to the booth on Friday, and we are in booth 336. So if anybody's in the area, please stop by and introduce yourself so they can talk deer. Yeah, for sure. And Jack, before we go, can just drop your social media site so everybody knows where they can look you up. Yeah, we have 2 Facebook pages. One is just Shock Effect Products, and then we have one, Shock Effect Free Range Bucks. And then on the Instagram side, we are I'm having a brain. We are shock_effect_products. And so we link those 2 together, and then obviously you can read more about our products on our website too, and that's www.shockeffectwhitetail.com. Yep, perfect. And when I get the show out for this show later today, I'll make sure to tag the Instagram page for you. And great. Well, I know we had talked, Jacques, and you're a busy man today, extremely like always, but just excited to kind of touch base with you, and looking forward to seeing you next week. Definitely. I appreciate the opportunity, and we will definitely be sure to touch base with us when you make it to the show, and we'll get everything going. I know I've had several customers start following your podcast after the episode that we were on, and so I think everybody's really excited about it. So yeah, definitely stop by the booth. We'll get together and put out another one. Yep, for sure. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, Jack. All right, thank you for the opportunity. All right. And always, guys, every week we are on the Pod Bros Network, the Unfiltered Outdoors app, so make sure you download to your mobile device the Unfiltered app, and as always on iTunes. So hope you guys enjoy the show. We'll see you guys next week.